The following is a presentation of the Vol Network. Closed captioning provided by the University of Tennessee full-time MBA program. Learn, transform, lead. It all starts here. This is Tennessee football and the beginning of the Butch Jones era.
I want the whole city of Knoxville to know that it's football time in Tennessee.
For the next 60 minutes, you're tuned to the Vol Network, documenting the most storied program in college football. Welcome to the Butch Jones Show, hosted by Tennessee head football coach Butch Jones and the Vol Network's Bob Kessling. Brought to you by the one bank that backs the Big Orange like no other. First Tennessee, the official bank of the Vols. By your local Ford dealer. Go further on a Tennessee Saturday. Visit your local Ford dealer, proud sponsors of UT football. By Dish, proud to be an official sponsor of the Big Orange. Catch the Vols on Dish. And by Farm Bureau Insurance. With agents in more communities than any other insurer, Tennessee turns to Farm Bureau Insurance, the official insurance of the Vols. Now, the Butch Jones Show.
You know, going from week 1 to week 2, to me, this is the biggest week in the growth and development of football teams. And the greatest growth and development occur from week 1 to week 2. And so obviously this week of preparation is absolutely critical. Everyone that touches that sign means a little more special today. Disciplined football team. All right, you just play. Let me work, you play. All right, you ready?
Tennessee goes to 2-0 on the season with a big win over Western Kentucky. Defense, the name of the game. 7 big turnovers for your defensive team.
Very opportunistic, and moving from week 1 to week 2, much progress, but also a lot of things that we need to do to continue to be a much better football team. But I really liked the way our kids took the field. They understood what was at stake, and again, what can you say about the turnovers? I don't think I've ever been a part of a game like that before, but also it's taking advantage of those turnovers. Once you generate them, it's coming away with points, and it's turned them not into field goals but touchdowns.
And a couple of the turnovers kept Western Kentucky from scoring, and those were big turnovers as well.
Well, exactly right. And again, football is a game of momentum swings and tremendous teaching opportunities in situations that occurred in this football game.
You had mentioned the fact the team makes a big jump from week 1 to week 2. Do you think your team took that jump?
We did. And you look at, again, the turnovers, and we talk about ball disruptions and taking the ball away. And later in the show, you're going to see a clip of Dontavius Sapp doing what we call starting a lawnmower. And that's all coaching, that's teaching, and our players are really starting to buy into all that. But again, as the quality of opponents continue to increase, we have to continue to get better each and every week.
You had a lead at 31-3 at one point. Western came back a little bit, but to start the second half, the offense came out and scored on 2 straight possessions, and that really sealed the game, didn't it?
Well, we needed that type of game. We needed that type of environment. We needed to suffer some sudden change opportunities and some adversities. And football is a game of momentum swings, and you could see that going into the locker room. And the big thing for me is I wanted to see what was the demeanor of our players at halftime. And we talked about starting the game over and how we approached the second half. And Bob, as we know, that drive to start the second half was critical.
And also you got a chance to play a lot of guys again this week too. That's important.
Well, it was a combination. It was a hard-fought football game. It was extremely physical. We challenged our football team this entire week. Tennessee Tough was on center stage. And so it was a physical game, but again, we also got some valuable repetitions for a lot of young players.
Tennessee beats Western Kentucky 52-20. We'll show you the highlights next here on The Butch Jones Show.
Our Regina's Ball Scholar of the Week is Brent Brewer. a senior boasting a 2.91 GPA in communication studies.
In high school, I was a little shy, and I just felt like just having communication class would help me build on that and help me be able to talk better and communicate with others.
Brent is just always getting things done in classroom. He's great on the field, obviously. He doesn't really need much help. He kind of handles things on his own.
The Tyrone, Georgia native made the transition to classwork at Tennessee after playing 4 seasons of minor league baseball with the Milwaukee Brewers organization.
Obviously going back to school, doing the classwork, and just having that load with football and the season during the same time. It was a little bit of adjustment, but everything else, just because baseball was, a job and a business, and if you didn't do your job, then you're going to be cut.
Congratulations to Brent Brewer, our Adidas Ball Scholar of the Week.
Tennessee and Western Kentucky Saturday at Neyland Stadium. Early start. How did that affect your planning and your preparation for the team?
Well, that's something that we spoke to our players about, and it's different. You get on a time clock with your body. So the 12 o'clock game, everything is expedited, is accelerated, and I thought our players handled exceptionally well. Bob, they were ready to play. We talked about emotionally, physically, and they were ready.
Good crowd at Neyland Stadium on a Saturday afternoon. Early start, Tennessee and Western Kentucky. Second time these teams have met, and the Volunteers come running through the tee early, hoping to get off to a 2-0 start to begin this season.
Well, we needed to start fast, and that's what we spoke about. And everything is about field position. You can see here we have a great punt by Michael Pilardi. Our punt team goes down and downs the ball, and that's a byproduct now of what's going to come next with Justin Coleman's pick 6. But we do a great job of spreading the net, and then Justin Coleman makes a tremendous job, and then we secure the ball on the 1-yard line.
And it was Justin Coleman that got down there and kept the ball from going in the end zone, so it made a big play on the punt coverage team as well.
No question. And you know what? Really what summarizes this is General Neyland, Maxim 2, play for him, make the breaks, and one comes your way, score. And the tip drill, and Justin does a great job, and I liked our energy on the sideline. I liked our excitement. And the snap and clear mentality.
His first career interception will be one he'll remember for a long time.
And it really switched the momentum. They had driven the length of the field. Our defense did a great job of holding them to a field goal, but now it kind of switched the terms of the tide in terms of momentum.
So this is the next possession for Western Kentucky.
We're in a cover 2 scheme, and the young freshman Cam Sutton does a tremendous job of breaking and driving on the football, and then gets the ball into the checkerboards, and again, now it changes the whole complexion of the game.
And that's his first career interception, and he'll remember that one for a long time.
Not a bad way to start.
No, not indeed. You really like this young freshman, don't you?
I do. He's poised. He's mature beyond his age, and again, he's going to continue to be tested as they tried to test him all game long.
So now it's 14-3. Western Kentucky gets the ball back. And Tennessee makes another play.
This play right here is probably the most pleasing out of all of them. We spoke about it earlier in the show. This is what we call starting the lawnmower. Dontavius Sapp, you're going to see coming up here with a clip. He gets his hand, and what we want to do is put our fingertips around the tip of the football and pry it up. It's like starting a lawnmower. We work this every day in practice, and then he recovers it. Then there's an art and a technique to carrying the football, getting in a fetal position. And again, this is textbook. You'll take this to a clinic when you talk about ball disruption.
Gang tackling. Now Tennessee, Justin Worley on offense, and a great catch and adjustment by Marquez North.
I believe it was Sports Center number 3 play of the day. And, we got to get the ball out there. And Justin does a great job under pressure getting the ball out there. But these are games plays that we continue to move forward this year. We have to score touchdowns on this, but obviously great concentration by the young freshman.
And so Tennessee gets the catch by North, and that sets up a Michael Pilardi field goal, and Tennessee now leads in this game 17-3. Western Kentucky gets the ball back, and yet another turnover for the Tennessee defense.
Again, we talk about ball disruptions and, taking the football away, and then Max Arnold picks it up. And, there's also a technique to how you scoop the football with your knuckles on the ground. And so I thought our defense, you could really see the transition of the practice field really occur to the game live situation and game live repetitions.
And so you see the ball poke free, And Max Arnold right there to pick it up, and he's a guy that's really made some progress in
He
the
has,
secondary.
he's been a walk-on that's really given us valuable repetitions. And then it's all about what you do with the turnover and Rajon Neal getting the ball into the end zone. And again, it's capitalizing on these turnovers and not kicking field goals but scoring touchdowns.
And this all happened in 7 minutes. It's amazing just the quick turnaround and the momentum. And another turnover coming up here.
Well, you just saw the segment earlier, our Vol scholar, Brent Brewer, is very opportunistic, makes a great diving interception. Again, love the enthusiasm, the passion. Again, it's being opportunistic, and you can see again the impact of the quarterback on the hit on the quarterback. And those are the things that people see, the interceptions, but it's all about impacting the quarterback as well.
That sets up another drive for Tennessee, and now the handoff goes to Marlon Lane.
Well, I thought our running backs ran exceptionally hard all game, and between him and Rajon Neal, we combined for 171 yards in the game. And I thought, Bob, we ran the ball more north and south this game, and we really talked about that all week in our week of preparation.
You wanted to finish blocks, finish plays. Did you do a better job of that?
Strain and sustain, and you can see Tiny, you can see all the linemen straining to sustain, and that's what we need to do as we continue to progress.
So Marlon Lane scores the touchdown. Tennessee's leading 31-3.
Again, tackle for loss here. We're bringing Ladero McNeil on the center of our defense with an internal pressure. And again, I thought our defensive staff did a great job of really keeping Western Kentucky off balance all game long with the different looks. And we thought it would be critical that we continue to disguise our coverages and our fronts. And we knew that they'd be studying a lot of our Cincinnati stuff from the previous years, and we did a great job of some change-ups.
Western Kentucky scored a couple of touchdowns late in the first half, so now Tennessee gets the ball to open things in the third quarter. This was a big drive.
Critical to finishing games, and we really challenged our players at halftime, and we like to start the second half with the ball, and you can see a great job in pass protection. And again, I thought Jonathan Johnson really stepped up, made some big catches for us, and Justin does a great job of hanging in the pocket to deliver the throw.
Sets up the run for Rajon Neal, one of 3 rushing touchdowns he had on the day, and Tennessee answers, gets momentum back.
Yes, we did, and then again, everything is about, capitalizing in the red zone and forcing teams to kick field goals. And again, I thought for the most part we dominated the line of scrimmage both offensively and defensively.
This is Jordan Williams, good swim move inside.
And you can see that's what we call an opportunity sack. Daniel Hood does a great job, forces the quarterback to push the pocket. And again, it's great to see. Again, I thought this was an extremely hard run by Rajon. Get the ball in there. Now we have what's called the score standard. He has to do a good job of chesting the ball and handing it to the official. But like I say, you'd rather say whoa than sick 'em. And I thought our players, again, played with great passion. The other individual who really stepped up was Josh Smith. I thought he did a great job as a true freshman, made some big catches that you didn't see in the highlights, but did a great job on some third down possessions and keeping drives alive.
Did your team grow up a little bit, you think, in this game?
We did grow up. I think they really understand now the conditioning, the way we practice throughout the course of a week. But as we know, we're going to be tested as we move forward to Eugene, Oregon. But I can see our players gaining more and more confidence as we progress in our style of play and the way we live and our expectations in our football program.
Tennessee wins over Western Kentucky 52-20. We'll have more on the Butch Jones Show in just a moment.
Quick out pass, batted up in the air and intercepted. Intercepted Justin Coleman to the 10, to the 5. Touchdown, Tennessee. Quick out, that's intercepted on the right side at the 35, to the 20. That's another pick 6. This one for Cam Sutton.
New faces and a new mentality define the 2013 Tennessee wide receivers.
Worley back to throw again. He's got time. Now he fires another bullet. This one right on target. Touchdown, Tennessee.
Fall camp was really important this year. We had a lot of young guys, and especially for myself being new to the position, I had never played wide receiver until this coaching staff I got here.
Drops the throw, throws it right over the middle to the checkerboards. It's caught. Touchdown, Tennessee. Devrin Young on the catch.
It's an honor to play here. In the past, there was a lot of great people that play here, and I just think it's just an honor to just be able to just walk through that tee.
You just know you can't take a play off. You got to be pushing it every play.
Winds up, A pass down to the 5-yard line. A sliding catch is good.
You got to be giving all your effort, and that's what we preach here at Tennessee.
Every change in the unit is linked to receiver coach Zach Azzani.
Come on, dog. I need you. Let's go. That's lazy right there. A big timer with great habits like this every play, right? Every play you can see a big timer. Eyes. Pump and pull. Low. Pump and pull, beat him back. Go get him. Go.
I always tell them at the end of the day, if I were to walk out of here and not be able to come back tomorrow, if I passed out and died, whatever it was, you'll be able to say, hey, Coach Z every day kept it 100% real with me. I can live with that.
Let's go, baby. Lead the country in effort and toughness.
They're never going to leave here and go, man, I wish he would have pushed me harder. I promise you they won't.
He's a perfectionist.
Right there! Come get it. Pull. Too many steps. That's why he didn't get to the ball. Too many steps.
He's going to get everything out of you. He's not going to let you leave nothing on the field. Either you're going to do it his way, or you're not going to do it at all.
We are different. We play different. We act different. We meet different. We practice different. We're different.
He has a great passion for the game, and he has a high standard for himself and for his wide receivers, and he never lowers that standard.
He's one of the realest coaches I know. He's there. He got your back 100%. He's hard on you each and every day, and there's not going to be a day that goes by that he don't coach you hard.
A new cast and higher expectations have the Vols ready for a physical aerial attack.
We're going to be tough, we're going to be physical, and that's always going to be our trademark. That's never going to change. You got to be tough. This is a tough program for tough guys, and if you're not a tough guy, you won't be able to play here.
For the Butch Jones Show, I'm Rick Russo.
It's one of the youngest receiving corps in the nation, but they're growing up fast.
Youthful, inexperienced, but talented. And it's wide receiver U. And we have a very high standard and expectation by which we're going to play wide receiver here at Tennessee. And there isn't anyone I trust more than coaching our wideouts than Zach Azzani. He's the best in the country. And his expectation, you heard all the young men talk about. There's 3 minutes to go in the game yesterday, and he's on them about blocking and finishing blocks. And again, it's perfection in everything that we do. I'm a receiver coach by nature. And so for me to sit here and say I trust nobody but Zach Azzani, I think that's the highest compliment you can give.
You just watched him grow up, getting better game by game. Sarah Mitchell now has a look at social media with the Tennessee Volunteers.
There was a lot of social media celebration for Vol fans this past week as Butch Jones won his first Tennessee game. Justin Martin from the hit television series Duck Dynasty congratulated Vol football by tweeting this picture of a custom-made duck call. It's great to have Justin and girlfriend Brittany Brugman in the Tennessee family. National Guardsman Brian Collins celebrated all the way from Afghanistan with this Power T flag. Thank you for your service, Brian. Last Thursday, Vol for Life Peyton Manning gave Tennessee fans more reasons to smile on opening night for the National Football League. The All-Pro quarterback tied an NFL record with 7 touchdown passes against defending Super Bowl champions, the Baltimore Ravens. The Broncos won 49-27. Peyton Manning fan Caroline Schaefer celebrated the late-night record by showing off her number 16 plush doll. She was dragging a little at work, but said it was worth it. And the enthusiasm continued through game day. Last week, I asked Tennessee fans to send me your best game day photos. Here's Miss Tennessee USA 2011 Ashley Durham ready for the Vol Walk. And Matt Wilson and son tailgating just before kickoff. And here's Tennessee student Jason Manis and his friends as they ring in win number 801. Thanks to all our Tennessee fans for your participation in this week's Vol Football Media Mash. Don't go away, the Butch Jones Show will be right back.
Game time is hours away, but the Vol Network preparations have been well underway since dawn.
Well, the Vol Network will arrive even before the sun rises. You have to love what you're doing to be in this type of a business, but the Vol Network is a passion that we all take to heart, and we hope that it shows up on Saturday.
Leading off is the Vol Network Kickoff Call-In Show, now boasting a state-of-the-art movable studio, complete with audience.
Good afternoon or good morning it is right now, and welcome to the Kickoff Call-In Show. Bob Kessling, Tim Priest, Andy Kelly with you. Great crowd on hand here at outside Gate 21 for the Kickoff Call-In Show.
Trust me, ladies and gentlemen, when I tell you that I have never in my experience ever seen such an expansive comprehensive operation as is the Vol Network. That's not news to you, nor is the fact that these preliminaries, they're just the tip of the iceberg. These are the hors d'oeuvres. Now we're going to ascend 5 stories to the top of Neyland Stadium for the entree. Take it away.
Wherever you're listening, it's football time in Tennessee.
Once the ball game run starts, Bob pretty much runs the show.
I kind of do it as if I'm talking to one person, and that kind of breaks down all that hundreds of thousands of people listening. So if you look at it, you're trying to tell your best friend a story. That makes it a lot easier.
Backs in the eye. Fake a handoff. Quick out pass. Batted up in the air and intercepted. Intercepted Justin Coleman to the 10, to the 5. Touchdown, Tennessee. 23-yard return by Justin Coleman.
And when it all comes together from the broadcast booth to the Vols sideline, it is indeed something special.
Tim and Bob do a great job upstairs. I tell everybody I try most weeks not to put my foot in my mouth too much, but I try to just say what I'm seeing, and I'm talking to Bob really, and hopefully it goes out and people gets a good picture of what we're seeing on the field and enjoying it.
So as you can see, all of the efforts of many people behind the scenes, coupled with what's going on the field here at Neyland Stadium, make for, if not sweet music, certainly winning words for volunteer fans region-wide, as the Butch Jones era is off to a flying start. For the Butch Jones Show, I'm Dennis Jansen.
Thank you, Denny. Of course, the General Neyland, named the Vol Network back in the 40s with Lindsey Nelson. It's been a great tradition for Tennessee fans for decades.
Well, the Vol Network means everything to us, and I'd like to personally say thank you for all that you do. And you're the one who brings it across the state, across the country. And you look at all the great Vol Network announcers that have come through, Lindsey Nelson you just spoke about, but George Mooney and John Ward and all the individuals that have come through. So thank you. We couldn't do it without you.
It's a tradition and a way of life for Tennessee fans all across the state. And a lot of folks behind the scenes make it happen for the Vol Network. And we thank the listeners, too, for being there every single Saturday. When we come back, we'll ask the coach here on the Butch Jones Show.
Time out to check the stats. Brought to you by Dish.
The Coach Butch Jones era began last week with a 45-0 shutout against Austin Peay. The win gave Tennessee their historic 800th win, placing them on the list of college football's elite. Jones's debut marked Tennessee's 287th shutout. Check the stats. General Robert Neyland led the Vols to 173 victories as a head coach at Tennessee. In those victories, Neyland's teams blanked opponents 112 times and had a period where they held opposing teams scoreless for 71 consecutive quarters.
Check the stats. Only from Dish do you get the Hopper Whole Home HD DVR. Learn more at dishvols.com. Catch the Vols on Dish, official sponsor of The Big Orange.
It's time now for Ask the Coach, presented by Academy Sports and Outdoors. Currently serving Vol fans with 7 Tennessee locations and online 24/7 at academy.com.
Coach, the first one comes from Derek Williams. What did you learn about your team and getting able to play younger guys?
Well, again, as the season progresses, you keep finding out about the younger players and putting their body of work on the video. And great teaching moments, great teaching opportunities. So just another part of the evaluation tool.
All right, next question coming up for Coach Jones. And this one is from Eric Taylor. Are you proud of the discipline of your team?
Well, we are. And again, we had 2 penalties for 17 yards. And that's about, also 0 turnovers, and that follows the plan to win. So no turnovers and 2 penalties. That's going to give you an opportunity to win football games.
Now the challenge is Oregon. They were very impressive in their win against Virginia. You got to go on the road. Daunting task coming up for your football team, but a challenge.
It's a great task, a great challenge, but also a great opportunity to go into the number 2 ranked team in the country in their home turf. And they're scoring. It's like a pinball machine. And so we have to do a great job of establishing the line of scrimmage. I think special teams are going to be at a premium, and then controlling the tempo on offense and having that poised and that discipline that it takes to go on the road and win football games.
But still, this is a long trip, and you got to, from a coaching staff, you got to get your team ready for that aspect of this.
It is. It's about a 5-hour trip. And, we have to condition our mind by the way we practice this week. Again, we talked about the external factors, not letting them become factors, and how we manage and conduct our business. When you go on the road, it's nothing more than a business trip.
Coach, congratulations to you and the staff and the players on the win over Western Kentucky, and good luck this week against Oregon.
Thank you.
When we come back, we'll talk to Tennessee offensive line coach Don Mahoney here on the Butch Jones Show.
Time now for the Tennessee Top 5, brought to you by Hyundai.
And now he hangs this one high, driving spiral. It's going to bounce at the 5, take a Tennessee hop, and the Volunteers down it at the 1. Great play that time as Tennessee got Justin Coleman down there to grab it at the 2-yard line.
The punt went a little deep as expected, but when I seen the ball, I just had to stop it at the 1. It created a little boost. Everybody got hyped. We're always hyped. We try to do our best to make plays, and that's a little something that I did.
Downey waits for the snap, gets it, back to throw, sets up, pressured, gonna be sacked back at the 17-yard line. Tennessee with great pressure that time again.
I feel like just the defense as a whole, like we just keeping that momentum going, and we didn't let the flame die. So I feel like the defense, we performed well, but we feel like we needed this game just to keep us going to this next week of practice.
Gets the snap, fakes, fires, Brendan Downs at the goal line, touchdown Tennessee!
It was a little misdirection play off the ball, and I just came open, not quite as open as last week, but was able to score still, so it's good.
Downey gets the snap, back to throw. Quick out, that's intercepted on the right side at the 35 to the 20. That's another pick 6. This one for Cam Sutton. Returns at 36 yards for another Tennessee defensive touchdown.
He read quick pass, so he just broke on it. We practice that a lot, and he's a very hard worker, so I'm glad to see him be successful.
Backs in the eye. Fake a handoff. Quick out, pass, batted up in the air and intercepted. Intercepted Justin Coleman to the 10, to the 5. Touchdown, Tennessee!
That's a little something that we go by. The team that makes few mistakes will win. They ended up making a mistake, and we took advantage of it. Nobody knows, but it was my first pick ever, and it ended up being a pick 6.
Those are the top 5 plays in Tennessee's win over Western Kentucky. Now we're joined by John Bryce from VolQuest.com and Tennessee offensive line coach Don Mahoney. Coach, congratulations on the win. We talked with Coach Jones just a moment ago. Those 2 drives to start the second half really locked up the victory yesterday.
They did. We, at halftime, a lot of people feel like major adjustments, all those things. And, really we told our guys, hey, let's come out and make a statement with the first drive. Sending a message exactly what we want to do. It's a 60-minute game. It's over the course of time that, we want to, physically take it to our opponent, and we did that. And I really like the way we got after it up front. The backs ran hard, and, we really made a statement with those 2 drives.
You guys have talked about the need for the offensive line to assert itself and take that next step, to want the ownership. Did you sense coming out of the half that they wanted that drive, that they wanted to sort of set their mark there to start the second half?
Yeah, they did. They were frustrated at half. However, I told them, I said, listen, the first half was crazy with the turnovers, the way the game was going in the first half, that, we just got to work on putting together some drives, executing our offense, and not being frustrated, just controlling our emotions. And, I could see, though, from the leadership, James Stone, Jawan James, that, there was a purpose in mind.
Coach, you come here from Cincinnati. You inherit a veteran offensive line, but they've had several different coaches the last couple of years. So how do you go about meshing those guys into a unit with your style?
First off is just building the trust. I know they've been through quite a bit with the coaches that have been here, and I think from December to now, they've really found out what we're about as a staff, what I'm about as a coach, and really just developing that. And at the end of the day, that's always been a philosophy of mine, is just, players trusting me and me being able to trust them, and it makes for a healthy atmosphere and demanding of them and getting that in return.
You mentioned the respect, the trust. The players have talked to me about how you've had an open door policy. You guys have had some cookouts together over the summer. Just talk about the family atmosphere that you have tried to instill with them long before the season ever kicked off.
I like to share a lot with them. I want to know about their life. I share with them about mine, my wife and kids, and really leave that to where there's the part of football we get after it. There's the meetings, the practices, and all that, but there's that side of me where they see me as a father, they see me as a husband, and that kind of thing. So I think that, again, is just it's the trust factor that's built over time, and me wanting to know about their families and meeting them this spring and knowing what kind of background they've come from, and that was really a good thing to have this spring.
Give us your first impressions when you got here and you started looking at these players on tape. Obviously, it's a very talented, physical offensive line.
Yeah, without a doubt. I mean, I knew, again, having played, Tennessee 2 years ago, a lot of the guys that were coming back and remembering the defensive line at Cincinnati saying how good that they thought they were as far as, physical and talented and so forth. And, seeing the film and working with them is really no surprise. And it's just a matter of, again, coming together with our terminology, our offense and all that, and putting things together. But no real surprise at all. It's a talented group that works extremely hard, and we took a step in the right direction from game 1 to game 2.
They have referenced the fact that they've had a number of different coaches up there, but Juwan James specifically said Coach Mo does a great job of blending everything together and bringing it all into one message for us. How have you been able to do that exactly?
Really, I think it's a matter of what they've had over the course of time with some different terminology, with some different calls. Linemen are different animals. We have different calls with combination blocks, with how we term things, and also what we did was we tried to mesh what we do and some things that maybe they've done here in the past through the 3 coaches to try to not create confusion, trying to make it as simple for them as possible with the transition that, here we go again, we got to go through some number of different calls and so forth. So we just mesh some things together that work from their side and our side to bring it all together.
Coach Boney, you have such a great, fast tempo with this offense. How did you get these big guys to buy in to losing weight and getting to the line of scrimmage and being faster?
Well, the weight that they lost, during the summer, getting text messages from them with being on vacation or what have you, they could see their body of work where the work they put in, they lost the weight, and moving at a fast pace. We constantly preach it's an advantage for us to move fast, to create panic for defense, and they're all, again, high character guys that, they see that. They know it, and they're smart football players. So they know moving at a fast pace can create some confusion, create panic on defense, so it's an advantage for us. So it was easy for that message to get clear to them.
We're with Tennessee offensive line coach Don Mahoney. We'll continue here on the Butch Jones Show in just a moment.
It's time to announce the AutoZone player of the game. Get in the zone, AutoZone. In the zone for Tennessee was Brian Randolph. The redshirt sophomore from Marietta, Georgia, had 2 interceptions to go along with 8 tackles for the Vols. Congratulations to Brian Randolph, our AutoZone player of the game. AutoZone, proud sponsor of the Vols. Parts are just part of what they do.
My style is constantly moving. The linemen are going to move at the pace in which you move as a coach.
Wedge, and get yourself getting ground at that angle. You got the shade. You got to shake the rock.
We want to be in an up-tempo offense. We want our guys to play fast. We want our guys to play furious. We have to do that as a coach and coach fast when we're doing that. So my style is I like to be upbeat. I like to move at a pace in which they're moving with me. I want to be out there moving around and them feeding off my energy and me feeding off theirs. It's both ways, but you got to be a guy that's got a lot of juice. The other thing is I believe in really in encouraging as far as obviously the things I talked about, the fine details, I like rewarding that. I like recognizing that right away on the field when it happens. I'm not a big believer in demeaning guys. I like stressing points that aren't quite right, that they'll know just by my tone of voice and by the look in my eyes that it's not right, and play with that in our program, but especially up front. That excites me.
That's Tennessee offensive line coach Don Mahoney at work on the practice field building up this Tennessee offensive line. Coach, give us your background a little bit, your relationship with Coach Jones. You've been with him for a while now.
Coach Jones and I, we actually coached together at Central Michigan, my first time as O-line coach there, and he was coaching tight ends, and then left and went to Tulane. And, over the years, we stayed in touch, and then obviously getting a chance to get back to Central Michigan when he got the head coaching job, and been with him ever since. So, we go way back, and, from his wife Barb and my wife and the kids and all. So it was a great opportunity to get back and with him and knowing the direction and his mindset and all that has been, it's been really good.
Coach, you said something to me recently when I was working on a story on Mike Bajakian about how much more enjoyable it is when you enjoy the people you're around. This is a coaching staff that, carries it off the field, isn't it? You guys hang out as families, and there's a lot of camaraderie there. Absolutely.
Coach, Mike Bajakian and I as well, the entire time with Coach Jones, and again, family getting together, starting back at Central. We lived close enough together that we'd get together with the time that we had off, and just time spent. That there's a lot of trust within the staff. Dave Lawson, a strength coach, Mark Elder. I can go on, and that's really different in this day and age of college football. I mean, we got a staff that's been together for some time. And we know a lot about each other and our families, and are there times where we may disagree on things? Sure, but at the end of the day, we're all in it for the same, obviously, common purpose, and we know that, and so it's really good.
Coach, thanks for your time this morning. We appreciate you being here. Good luck to your offensive line and the rest of the season, and good luck to this Tennessee football team.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Don Mahoney, Tennessee offensive line coach. We'll look ahead to the Oregon Ducks next here on the Butch Jones Show.
Hey, Vol fans, direct your attention to the video board for today's Loyal Fan of the Game, brought to you by Hyundai, proud sponsor of Tennessee football. It's time for the First Tennessee First Look, a scouting report and look ahead at the Vols' upcoming opponent. Brought to you by First Tennessee Bank, the official bank of the Vols.
Well, the Oregon Ducks, very impressive in their victory over Virginia, a team with a lot of speed, a lot of talent. And then Tennessee, of course, has to go out there to play them in Eugene, one of the toughest places in America to play college football. It's, I guess, that one game, John, everybody is circled. You get by the first two, and then really the schedule starts.
It really does. Back-to-back trips to Eugene and Gainesville. Oregon coming off a 59-10 romp past Virginia. We saw Marcus Mariota, the quarterback. We saw DeAnthony Thomas, the running back. Those two guys are really dynamic difference makers. I think Oregon has outscored its first two opponents 125-13 and racked up 1,300 yards offense, Bob.
And their offense just goes so fast, it's a blur, and so the Tennessee defense will be tested this week. But I think it's also a great measuring stick for this program, and I think it's a challenge that Butch Jones welcomes. I think he wants to see if his team can play against the big guys or where they have to get to that level.
There's no question that Butch welcomes the challenge, and there's a trickle-down effect. And visiting with those players in the locker room Saturday after the win over Western Kentucky, you could sense that they really want this opportunity. They see it as an opportunity. A number of those offensive linemen played in that 2010 game against Oregon. They see it also as a measuring stick.
So there are a lot of positive things to build off the win against Western Kentucky. Again, the execution of the game plan and the fact no penalties. They played with a lot of discipline again, and that they're going to have to do that at Oregon.
Extreme discipline, and obviously the ball hawking with all the turnovers. Tennessee has 9 turnovers, I think, through 2 games. All of last season, they only had 17, Bob. It's a faster defense. It's a much more confident defense that believes in John Jancic's system, and it's transferring to the field.
But you can't rely on those turnovers every single week. Sometimes you're not going to get them. So now it's really on the offense to try and keep the ball away from Oregon this week. And if they can't do that, it's going to be a tough game to win.
Well, the beautiful thing is this is a grounded team, and players on defense talk about, well, yeah, we had all the turnovers, but we've got to get off the field on third down. The offensive guys talk about how they've got to sustain drives, they've got to keep the defense off the field, and how it goes hand in hand.
And you see how Justin Worley reacts on the road under these conditions. I guess the good thing is he has started some games before on the road, and that helps.
He started on the road, and he's also showed some progress through the first 2 games. I thought a tremendous tremendous step forward for Justin Worley Saturday with his second half performance. He would tell you that he was not where he needed to be in the first half of the win against Western Kentucky, but much more accurate, much more in command in the second half. That was a big step.
Running the ball will be a key against Oregon.
Yeah, Tennessee's going to want to play fast, but also control tempo, and that's what the Vols are able to do. They pride themselves. Butch Jones has said, we can play up tempo, but we can dictate tempo.
Yeah, indeed. So Tennessee wins over Western Kentucky. Back-to-back road games now as the Volunteers go to Oregon and Florida. The Oregon kickoff is at 12:30 Pacific, 3:30 Eastern Time. Coverage on the Vol Network starts at 2 o'clock Eastern, 1 Central Time. Thanks for being with us. For John Bryce, Coach Don Mahoney, and Coach Butch Jones, I'm Bob Kessling. See you next week here on The Butch Jones Show.
This has been a presentation of the Vol Network, produced by IMG, the world's premier sports, media, and entertainment company. For more coverage of this week's game, be sure to watch the Vol Network's 2-hour game replay. Check local listings. Produced at the Huster Broadcast Center.